Hi people, thank you for joining me on this fragrance video. We're going to do something a little bit different, but something that I have done previously, and that is give you a run through of my entire fragrance collection. So I did this video about, beginning of 2018 I believe it was. Went down quite well, and obviously I've added a few fragrances to the collection in that time, so I'm going to go through them all again, show you what I've got. Just to mention something though, the last few years I've not bought many fragrances. Because I've got so many, I don't really get through them. My rotation's quite large, and also because of things like coronavirus, I haven't been able to go in department stores and things of that nature much in the last 12 months. So my purchasing fragrance has fallen off a cliff massively, to the point that I'm probably only buying 5-6 fragrances a year now, compared to, at one time, probably 25-30 fragrances. So I've gone through fragrances in the past as well. I've used the full bottles and now don't have. So I'm only going to show you what I've still got in my collection. Some of them are virtually full, some of them are practically empty, but we're going to have a run through anyway, give you a quick update. There are a couple of fragrances actually missing now I think about it. I've got a couple of fragrances that I'll pull into the equation. I'll just splice it into the video later on. But anyway, enough of me waffling, let's crack on. And what we're going to do is we're going to zoom in as we go through the rows, just so you can get a clearer picture of what I've got, and I'll give you a very basic bit of information about the fragrances, and it is going to be basic because we've got a lot to go through, so I don't want this video to take like 2 hours. I want it to take like 15 minutes, if that. Anyway, as I say, let's crack on. So we'll go up to the top and we will zoom in. So if you just bear with me, here we go. We'll start in this bottom left hand corner. 2 fragrances that are very blue there you've got in the top corner. So you've got Versace Pour Homme, real nice summer fragrance, and another summer fragrance, although more greener to the side of it, which is Nautica Voyager, which has actually the writing starting to come off the bottle. Slightly obscured by the box in front of it, but next to that you have Versace House. Oh, so my tripod's trying to escape. An old classic but very overdone one, which is Paco Rabanne 1 Million, and again one that's probably a little bit overdone because of the YouTube hype that it's had over the years. Next to that is Mont Blanc Individual. Now you may not recognise this next fragrance, but it's actually a dupe of the one next to it. So this is called L'Homme, it's from Next, and it's a copy of Jean Paul Gaultier's La Malle, which you see there. The thing about this one though is, because La Malle's been reformulated and reformulated and reformulated again, the next copy actually smells a lot more like the original La Malle than La Malle does. It's bizarre, but I mean the new version of La Malle, which this one is, basically has no longevity, no real sillage. The original was a real long-lasting beast, and now it's just crap. One I do like though, which is from the La Malle range, which is next to it, which is Superman. It's also been released under a few other names. Popeye was one of the more popular ones. And then we've got a discontinued fragrance next to that, which is Masculine by Dolce & Gabbana. Now this came out in the 1990s, late 1990s, and I actually wore this in the early 2000s. Reacquired a bottle. It is discontinued, but it's a very good fragrance if you can get a hold of it at a reasonable price. Then you've got another YouTube favourite, which is Aqua Amara from Bulgari. And then next to that we have Perry Ellis 360 Red, which is a copy of Acqua di Gio by Giorgio Armani. Moving on, one of my top fragrances at the moment, one I wear in the evenings if I go out, particularly in winter, and that is Spice Bomb Extreme from Viktor and Rolf. So we're just going to scan back over to the other side again. A couple of cheapies. There's an M&S cheapie there, which is a silver little can. And then you've got Next Tropic next to that, which is a copy of Acqua di Gio Profumo, which is sitting just below it. You might be able to see that on top of your screen. And then another great fragrance that I like at the moment, which is a wintry fragrance, is Givenchy Gentleman, the EDP version, because there are different versions. There is a sample box of Calvin Klein fragrances there, which I've not really used. And then there's a Topman fragrance, Orange, which it smells a lot like Boss in Motion from Hugo Boss. Next to that is Urban Element Stone from Next, another Next fragrance, and that is a copy of Sauvage, which is just there. Then we have Davidoff Cool Water Wave, again a nice summery fragrance, and also very cheap. And next to that we have Versace Dylan Blue, which is a flanker, but a more in-your-face flanker, a more evening type fragrance, even though it's summery, of the original Pour Homme. An old classic next to that, it's Tommy by Tommy Hilfiger, came out in the 1990s, great apple fragrance, still very much worth having. And then we've got a couple of Invictuses. Invictus Aqua, which was released about 3 years ago after being successful in 2016, we discontinued and re-brought back out again, slightly different. And the original Invictus, which that bottle is nearly empty. Another next one next to that, which is Signature Tonic, and there's a very small bottle of I've forgotten the name of this one. It's an Armani it's a Giorgio Armani one. It'll come to me, but I've forgotten what that one's actually called. And then next to that we have a Paul Smith fragrance, which again the name is escaping me. I've got the box here somewhere. Let me just reach down and find it, because all of these pretty much were kept in their boxes and I've taken them out. So I'm just going to try and find that box, bear with me. Oh, it's just called Paul Smith Extreme, although it's not particularly extreme, it's a very soft fragrance. Coming down to the next row, we have a 200 ml bottle of the original Acqua di Gio. Then I've got two of the more recent flankers, the much loved ones, the Profumo, which is 75 ml, and 125 ml of Profondo, which I very much like. That is more like the original than Profumo, particularly when it wafts around in the air, but it has much greater staying power than the original Acqua di Gio, because that's been reformulated. Then move on to the Armani codes. So we've got code Colonia, code Profumo, code A-List, and the original code. A-List is a lot like the original code, but it's again more longer lasting. When it came out, I thought it was a bit of a pointless release because it doesn't smell that much different, but it has a bit more, has more longevity than the original, without losing too much of its original appeal. Coming across, we have Dior Sauvage, fragrance that I have a kind of love-hate relationship with because I do think it's very chemically, but then it just works. And we have Sauvage, the Eau de Parfum. I haven't got the Parfum, just those two. Next to that is Coach Platinum. And again, next to that is a fragrance which is also quite similar like Coach Platinum, but obviously different. It's Lanvin L'Homme Sport. Now, you might not see that in many reviews, so I'm probably going to do a review of that at some point, but it's actually quite a nice fragrance, so it's cheap. Ironically, it's sat next to a fragrance which is bloody awful. And that fragrance is by Y3. I'm not even sure what it's called, just don't buy it, it's crap. And then we have Cool Water, Davidoff, which again, 80s classic, and it's next to Youp Jump, which I don't have a lot of Youp fragrances, but that one, in my opinion, is the best. Come down another row. So let me just sort this tripod out, and we'll come back down. There we go. Couple of Prada fragrances. So Carbon, Prada Luna Rossa Carbon, and Prada Luna Rossa Sport. Carbon on the left. Carbon is very much a lot like Sauvage by Dior. And then you've got Sport, which has some elements of L'Amour, but is, in my opinion, better done, more summery, lighter. Actually a very nice fragrance. One I particularly like, which is very cheap. It is a bit on the chemically side, but weirdly still nice. And that is Ferragamo F Black by Salvador Ferragamo. A very old, cheap classic next to that, which is Burberry Touch from Burberry. And that is sitting next to Mont Blanc Legend. I nearly said Legend Spirit, which is another fragrance I do have that's not on this video because that bottle was being left in my car for about 2 years and it's probably gone off. And it's still in my car now. I've got the original CH Men, the one with the red strip, the one that you cannot get anymore, the original better one in my opinion. And that's next to another Carolina Herrera spot, the fragrance should I say, which is 212 Sexy Men. And again, it's another fragrance that has some similarities to L'Amour, although probably slightly, in my opinion, closer to Prada Luna Rossa Sport. Have not one, but two Givenchy pies, two different versions. The one on the left, the bigger bottle, is the current formulation, and the one on the right is the previous formulation, where you've got the logo instead of being the middle bottle at the bottom of the bottle. The old version is better. The reason why I've got a new version is most of my fragrances are very well kept, but that one I do think has gone off, the one on the right, so I bought it again. smells quite chemically, which is a sign it's gone off. You can't see it very well, so I'm just going to flick it over a little bit. That one there is another discontinued fragrance. I believe it's discontinued, and again it's from Givenchy, and it's Pi Neo, a flank of the two fragrances you see beside it. Then a couple more. So coming towards the end there, up at the top, we have Yves Saint Laurent Y Eau de Parfum. Great flank to the original Y. I wasn't a fan of the original Y, but when this came out, really liked it. And then you've got one which smells like bug spray, but weirdly is popular with women, and I don't really quite why, because it's metallic, but because it's called Chrome, it's Azzaro Chrome. We're just going to move down a row again. Go to the end. You might not recognise this one. That is Icon Racing from Dunhill. Actually, I really like that. Really heavy, weighty bottle. Next to it's one that's not particularly good, and it is Abercrombie & Fitch First Instinct Extreme, I believe. I'm just going to double check it, because I never actually wear this one. Camera won't focus now. Yeah, but it is First Instinct Extreme. And then next to that is Joop Wow, which is really not very wow at all. One that is wow though, although a little bit old manish, is Eau Sauvage Parfum from Christian Dior. That's really nice, although it's probably, you got to be 40 upwards really to appreciate that one. Next one's practically empty bottle. I wore this, I'm actually wearing this today. Squeezed a few squirts out of it, and it's Calvin Klein Eternity, one that reminds me of being in my early 20s when I used to wear this. I'm nearly 40 now. So yeah, very brings back great memories, and it's also once inexpensive. Then you've got one that brings memories back for me of being in my mid-20s in the mid-2000s, around 2005, 2006. I got this originally when it used to have the silver strim, and that is Dior Homme. That sits next to one which would help if you could see the labels on it, but it's one of the overhyped classics. It's La Nuit de l'Homme from the house of Yves Saint Laurent. And that's next to Hugo Boss Bottled, which looks empty but actually has probably, I don't know, 15ml left in it. You have a 50ml bottle. More recent purchase, because these bottles are laid down, they look like they've got less in them than they have. This next purchase is Strong With You Freeze by Emporio Armani. And then there's a discontinued fragrance, one I really liked when it came back out in the late, well, it came back 2006, 2007 it came out. Can't get it anymore. And it's Paul Smith Story. A 90s classic, bit feminine, but that is The Dreamer from Versace. And then going upwards slightly, you've got Hypnos Man from Lancôme and L'Homme Ideal Cologne from the house of Galan. And we're just going to come down to the next row, which is the final row. I've got a couple more to show you though. Just going on the end there, real cheapy, actually does smell very nice though. It's David Beckham Instinct, David Beckham's first fragrance. You've got Marble Urban Elements next, which is a Creed Aventus type fragrance. And then you've got another next one there, which is called Edition. That few next ones here, Signature, these are all very cheap, but they're actually alright, they just don't have great longevity, but they smell okay. One I do really love, another great winter fragrance, great evening fragrance, that is Pure Malt from Thierry Mugler. And we go from one extreme to the other, because I go to one that I dislike. When I bought this, I actually thought it was quite nice, and I think I'd even said that in a review. I think I included it in an affordable fragrances video, and it's Ferrari Essence Oud. But over time, I've just come to realise that Oud's not for me. It doesn't. I don't know. Each to their own. That is next to a Zara fragrance, which is called Soul, which is a Invictus-ish fragrance, and then I've got a very small bottle of Profumo. I've got a large bottle of Profumo that you saw before. This smaller bottle I use for taking out. It's 40ml, but it actually fits into your pocket quite nicely. So if I go out anywhere, I can just slip it into my pocket and spritz away. That's next to Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue, which is the original Light Blue, which is weak as hell these days because of reformulations. And then with another Zara fragrance, which is called San Francisco, which is quite nice, but like most Zara fragrances, really doesn't last. One next to that is, let me just double check this one, that is Night 2. Or is it Night 1, Pour Homme. Again, I can't really tell you much about that. I bought that about 4 years ago and never really wore it. Next to that is Paco by Paco Rabanne. Now this was the very first fragrance I ever wore in about 1996, and I didn't even buy it. It was my brother who bought it and I just nicked it. So it brings back great memories. You can buy it fairly cheap. You won't see it in many department stores or shops, but I bought that in the Spanish airport for €20. And then next to that, I believe this is discontinued, but it's my favourite from the Gentleman line. It's Dolce, sorry, the One line, should I say? It's Dolce & Gabbana, the One Gentleman. Just going to quickly move over here because I've got a few more fragrances that I didn't include in the lineup because I just shoved them aside because I'm running out of space. So there's 4 Zara fragrances there. Not really going to go for too much detail about them, but the one on the end is one I really like, which is it's called Weekend Till 3 AM, and it has a real pineapple-y vibe. I do like that. A couple of quite nice Roberto Cavalli fragrances there, which is Umo and Umo Silver Essence, which is nice. And then there's a couple of cheap, these ones in boxes, the next ones I didn't take out of the boxes because I've not really worn them, they were bought as presents. And then there's just 2 others, which is YSL L'Homme, great daytime fragrance, really nice but unoffensive. And then we have one that I do like but don't really wear, and that is Emporio Armani Black Carrot, Diamonds Black Carrot in actual fact. Mentioned there's a couple of other fragrances I've got that I haven't included here, which I will splice in, which in fact I'm just going to go get them now. Okay, so a couple of fragrances are, well, a number of fragrances in actual fact that I didn't include in the list or in the video, with just a complete oversight. And it's going into niche territory, so don't have a lot of niche. In fact, I only have these. I don't really buy niche fragrances just because I'm a cheap Yorkshireman. But the 2 we've got here are Acqua di Parma Colonia Pura, and then we have a Bond number 9 Bonbon box, which I have done a review of, so do look out for that. Some of these fragrances are women's, there's a couple of men's ones in there, a couple of unisex ones. It's just to get sort of a real sampler of what's in the line. You get about 20 ml in each bottle. Well, it might be 10 ml. Actually, they look probably quite big for 10 ml. But yeah, it gives you a sample of what's in that line of fragrances, and that's everything. That's my entire collection as it stands. I used to own a bottle of the Armaf one, the popular one, Club du 8 de Man, or Intense, whatever it's called. Club du 8 Man Intense. The Creed Aventus copy, I don't know what happened to it, it just disappeared. And as I said before, I also have Mont Blanc Legend Spirit, which has been left in my car. That's my entire fragrance collection. I've not reviewed all of these, I've done quite a few. I will try and do the others. Over time I will be buying some more, but as I've got quite a lot on my rotation is quite long, there isn't really a massive incentive for me to go out and buy fragrances, but if I do see anything that I like, smell something I like, I will pick it up, and I'll let you guys know what I think. Anyway, ciao for now, thank you for watching. Do give this video a thumbs up if you do like it. Do check out my other videos, and if you're not subscribed already, it would be very much appreciated if you could click that button. Thank you.